Okay, to everyone new here, welcome to the Nature Hero Talk Series 3.0. And to all those who have been here before, welcome back. This Nature Hero Talk series is brought to you by MNS, Malaysian Nature Society, Negeri Sembilan and Malacca branch. And I'm Yan Yi, and I will be your host for today. If you'd like to be a voice for nature, be sure to join the membership at MNS. You can join as a family, as an individual, or as a school through Club Pencinta Alam by going to this website, mns.my/join-us. Once you join this society, you will be a part of 14 branches all over Malaysia, where you can meet like-minded people, share your ideas and passion for nature. The purpose of this Nature Hero Talk series is to cultivate your understanding of the environment and to encourage you to be a scientist so that we can conserve the environment for the future. The talk today will be 30 minutes. After that, there will be a Q&A session where you can ask our speaker today any questions you have about her session. You can type your question in the chat box, or if you're watching from Facebook Live, you can type your questions or comments in the comment section. If you'd like to be a volunteer for the future talks, do contact us so that we can train you as a volunteer. Okay, information about past and future talks in this series is found in the ecopartners.online app. Here you can also keep track of your learning and positive impacts for the environment with eco points. You can also earn certificates for attending this talk series. There will be 2 certificate types. Okay, the first one is normal certificate and prizes. After every talk session, which happens every 2 weeks, if you do the quiz and get 70% passing mark, you'll get a certificate issued by MNS Negeri Sembilan and Malacca branch. The top 5 fastest person to submit the quiz and get the highest mark within 10 minutes will be given 5 prizes. 5 people will be given 1 prize each. Sorry. And if you complete the follow-up actions at the end of each talk, you'll get 50 eco points each. Okay. The second type of certificate, which in my opinion is the better one, is a certificate that is recognized by the Ministry of Education. Okay, so to get this certificate, mark on your calendar 30th of October 2021 is the last day of the talk series. There will be a 2 hours forum where you can discuss and refresh all the topics that you learned. And then you will be given a big quiz with 50 questions. In this quiz, there will be 80% questions from the talks that's already covered and 20% from that day's discussion itself. And you'll be given 24 hours to complete these 50 questions. Okay, and then from this quiz, the top 5 will be given the Sigil Pertandingan or Pencapaian, competition or achievements certificate, where you'll be recognized for your fast and accurate answers. Okay, and the rest will be given Sigil Pernyataan or participation certificate if you attend on the 30th of October this forum. Okay, all of the talks are recorded, so they will be posted on YouTube that you can watch since the 12th of June until now. And you can keep watching them as many times as you want and do the quiz and follow-up actions for each talk. Okay, now I want you to take out your phone and prepare the QR code scanner or your camera, okay? Okay, get your phone ready, yeah? The sponsors for today's quiz is Turtle Conservation Society, Dominic O'Sullivan, and Salute. There will be some t-shirts and turtle and terrapin pins. Okay, so here are the QR code. The first one on the left will bring you to our Facebook page where you can like and subscribe and connect with the members there. The next QR code on the right takes you to the YouTube page where you can find all the recorded sessions of previous talks, including this one and future talks. Okay, so this is the schedule for our talk series, Environmental Literacy Talk Series. And today we are going to talk about earth materials and its uses. And our speaker will be Linesha. Okay, who is Linesha? Linesha Pavaani. She is a recent graduate from University of Malaya with a Bachelor of Science majoring in Geology. So she is a geologist. And if you attend university, the final year of your university, you will get a chance to do a project all by yourself. And for Linesha, the title of her final year project is Species Analysis of Kubang Pasus Formation at Kampung Kedondong, Pokok Sena, Kedah, Malaysia. She also knows how to describe rocks, minerals, identify core log, measure dip and strike, and also field mapping and sampling techniques from participating in field group research projects. And she goes to places, many places. So if you want to be a geologist, you can also be like her and go to many places. Fun fact, Linesha is also a Bharatanatyam dancer, choreographer, and teacher, and she's pretty good at it. At university, she won the Harapan Seni Award in the dance category. She also provides food for the homeless at the TV Soup Kitchen and worked as a volunteer at the orphanage under the Social Engagement Program. So here we go. Linesha, over to you.
All right, thank you so much, Jenny, for the introduction. So hello, everybody, and good afternoon. So before that, I'm going to just share my screen. So everyone can see the screen?
Yep, good.
Okay. So a very good afternoon and a very good day to everybody. My name is Linesha, and today I'll be talking about earth materials and its uses. Okay. So just before we start, I just want to say that I'm a graduate, so I'm not that experienced in my work, my field study. So if I make any mistakes in between, really sorry for that. Okay, so let's get into it right away. So the introduction is, what are earth materials? So I'm going to direct this question straight to the audience. So all of you aware what are earth materials, or do you have any knowledge about earth materials? So if you have, please raise your hands, or you can drop in any emoji that you like. So I just want to see how many of you are actually aware of earth materials. So can I get some hands here? So we can keep the presentation a bit interesting. All right. Okay, I see a few hands up. Okay, so just to give a brief introduction on what is earth material. So earth materials are actually naturally occurring materials originated from the earth itself. It is also known as natural resources, and it is finite because once you have used it, you will not get it back. Okay, so that's it. So once the resources are finished up, there won't be anything left. Okay. So, there are a few components of earth materials, but I would like to focus on these three, which are minerals, rocks, and soils, because traditionally the study of earth materials comprises of three studies, which are mineralogy, petrology, and hydrology. So, as you can see, mineralogy is the study of minerals, petrology is the study of rocks, and pedology is the study of soils. So before we dive deep into this presentation, I would just like to touch on the objectives of this talk so that all of you will have a brief understanding on what I'm going to cover for today's talk. So the first one is to know the types of earth materials. Secondly, to understand the process of retrieving earth materials. Third would be to understand the uses of earth materials. And fourth will be to acknowledge and recognize the impacts to the environment and how we can contribute in reducing these impacts. So let's begin with minerals. So what are minerals actually? Minerals are actually naturally occurring and they only exist in solid form. Thus, they have a very distinct crystalline structure due to their atomic arrangement. And not only that, they also have fixed chemical composition. So as you can see beside here in this picture, this is actually quartz. So quartz is comprised of silicon dioxide, and for example, gold is actually made out of Au. So they have a very fixed chemical composition, and this cannot be changed. Okay, so how are minerals extracted from earth? So this is done through mining. There are four types of mining. So let's go into it one by one. So first is underground mining. So when you hear about the word underground, you know that you're actually going to dig deep into the earth's beneath the earth's surface. So thus it involves a lot of digging and soil displacement, and it goes as deep as 300 meters and below. Thus, it is also expensive because it involves a lot of digging and you need to remove huge masses of soil and sediments. So, for this mining, higher grade metallic ores are actually found here, such as gold. Okay, so we have surface mining here. So, surface means it's always like near the Earth's surface. So, that's why it's called as surface mining. So, mining is done on the surface of Earth, and the less valuable deposits are found here. And then the third one would be in situ mining. So in situ mining does not involve any displacement of soils or any digging, very minimal digging actually, because most of the time for in situ mining, wells are used to extract the ore body. So actually you can see an injection well here. So this is where solution will be passed on to the ore body, and this ore body will be actually melted. So that once it's melted, the recovery well will extract the melted ore, and it will be brought back to the factory for processing. So this kind of in situ mining is done for mostly uranium. And then we have placer mining. So placer mining is actually based on an ancient method where you have seen ladies, at the stream bed trying to sift out sediments to get gold. So this is the same method, but now since we live in a very technological era, this has evolved, and we use big machineries, and we use this kind of machines to actually dig a huge amount of sediments actually, and drop it into this machine so that the sediments will get sifted out and the gold will be actually recovered from this. So this is done in locations such as the river channels or nearby riverbeds. Okay, so let's move into rocks. So rocks are actually clumps of minerals. They can be formed by one type of mineral or many types of minerals. So when it comes to granite, granite is a type of igneous rock, and it is made up of mostly quartz and feldspar. It's two types of minerals. And then we have sandstone, which is a type of sedimentary rock, and it's commonly made up of quartz. And then quartzite is actually made up of pure. That means there's no other minerals except for quartz in it. So it is a type of metamorphic rock. So rocks are known to be broken down by erosion and weathering. So as you can see, Mr. Fuad explained about the types of rocks in his previous talk if you have attended it. But I'm just going to brief through so that you have a certain idea on what are the types of rocks found on Earth. So firstly is igneous rock. So igneous rock is actually formed beneath the Earth's surface, where the magma will actually solidify and cool down to form igneous rocks. And then we move on to metamorphic rocks. They are also found beneath the Earth, but the catch is they actually pre-existing rocks actually become metamorphs due to high intense and pressure beneath the Earth's surface. So what will happen is they will become the pre-existing rock will become a different type of rock. Okay, so we have sedimentary rock. It is actually found near the Earth's surface. So sedimentary rock is actually due to the erosion and weathering of rocks itself. So these weathered rocks, also known as sediments, will start piling up onto each other layer by layer. So due to compaction and the processes known as diagenesis and liquefaction, they become sedimentary rock. So I find sedimentary rock very interesting because it can actually produce petroleum. So what is petroleum actually? So petroleum is, I think it's a common word now because I guess petroleum is used for many purposes. So the most common one is to as a fuel for the vehicles, right? Petroleum. So how is it actually formed and extracted? So we have to go back to a few million years ago, where last time we didn't have much big marine organisms. Most of it was small marine organisms such as phytoplankton, algae, and diatoms. So these small marine organisms, once they die, they will be settled. They will settle below at this seabed. So seabed is actually the bottom of the sea, and they will settle down here. And before they get decayed, sedimentation will bury them. Sedimentation is actually sediments piling on top of each other, so they will be buried by sediments. So as they get buried layer by layer for millions of years, actually this is happening for millions of years, these organisms will actually turn to be organic matter. And once organic matter will be actually converted into kerogen, and then this kerogen, due to intense high heat and pressure, will turn into oil and natural gas. This is aided by the anaerobic conversion. So that is how that is how these organisms will turn into organic matter. Okay, so that's how now we have oil and gas. So they are actually trapped mostly at in soft rocks known as mudstones. So they actually and they are trapped in reservoir rocks. Actually, sorry, they're trapped in reservoir rocks. So we dig in wells to actually extract them out. So this kind of machine, drilling machines, are actually used to inject wells so that you'll be able to extract the gas and oil out. All right. So that is how petroleum is found. And then we move on to soils. So for soils, we have a mixture of all of these: organic matter, air, or known as gases, water, and mineral matter. So mineral matter can consist of sand, silt, or clay. So this defines the soil texture. So as you can see, how soil are formed is through mechanical and chemical weathering processes, and also due to the accumulation and decay of organic matter. So as we look at organic matter, this is actually really important for soils because it actually determines the soil quality when it comes to agriculture. And then the blacker the soil is, the content of organic matter is higher, and it's also called as black humus, right? So if you look at mineral matter here, sand, silt, and clay, we have different types of soil texture, and mainly the sizes of soil particles vary. So as you can see, sand is the coarsest soil particles because it has the biggest size, which is from 2 to 0.05 mm. And then we have silt, which is a bit, it's a bit finer than sand, but it's gritty to feel. So it's 0.05 to 0.002 mm, and then followed by clay, which is actually very small. So it's very smooth to touch and you can barely feel the particles in your hands. So silt will feel a bit gritty and sand will be a bit coarse. So if let's say you have a backyard, you can go and check out whether your soils are actually sandy, silty, or clay. Right. So let's move on to the soil layers. I'm going to go really brief on this. So we have like 5 horizons here comprising of the soil layers. So the first one is O horizon, which is known as organic matter horizon also. So this is known as surface litter. So litter is actually organic matter. So this is where decomposition of animal residues, plant residues will occur. So that's how you get this organic matter here. So then we move on to the A horizon, which is the topsoil. This is where seeds germinate. So as you can see, roots are also growing at this horizon. So you may guess that nutrients, a lot of nutrients and organic matter are found here, so that the roots can absorb these nutrients and feed the plants here, right? Okay, then let's move on to E horizon, zone of leaching. So leaching is also known as heating. So when water is added, or water due to rainfall, or probably like water is present, so water will start dripping to this horizon and into this horizon, where the water will start absorbing all the nutrients and clay minerals here and be accumulated here. So that is why D horizon is known as zone of accumulation. So that is why in E horizon, most of the horizon is light colored because most of these uh, nutrients and clay minerals found at this particular horizon will be absorbed by water and will be eventually accumulated here. Okay, then we have C horizon. also known as barren material, they actually formed from the erosion and weathering of rocks, and they are unconsolidated, as in they are soft, and they actually form the basis of soil development. And then we have bedrock, which is a continuous and solid rock. So it could be actually thousands of meters below, and it can comprise of igneous, metamorphic, and sedimentary rocks. So we have actually had like a particular knowledge on what are earth materials. So have you ever thought of what are the uses of earth materials actually? So actually, I think most of us are unaware that most of our materials are made from earth materials. So the laptop you're using right now to watch this talk, or the mobile phones you're using to chat with your friends, it's all made up of earth materials actually. So let's dig deep into it. And most of the examples I'm going to give are actually very basic, because this it relates to what we are using in our daily life. So first up is minerals. So they're used as human nutrition and consumption. So medicine, like it could be supplements. Okay, so probably a few percentage of iron or manganese or calcium are added into medicine. So it can be as your supplements, so that you can take these supplements when you lack a certain nutrition. And then not only that, rock salt is also known as halite. So halite or rock salt is actually used for a few purposes. Probably first would be to preserve food such as cheese, meat, or it is also used as a baking soda. So if you're familiar with baking, you can actually use that to make your cake rise, right? And then third one would be for ice management, where you use rock salt to actually reduce the melting point of the ice, so that if let's say you have this ice lorry where you want to preserve the ice from melting, so you can use rock salt for this. And then let's move on to electronics. So most of the electronics items are actually made from earth materials. So which are minerals. So let's start with mobile phones. And the reason why I highlighted lithium here is because lithium is the reason why your phone is rechargeable. So you can recharge your electronic gadgets because lithium is present. So lithium has the ability to recharge. Okay, so that is why I highlighted this here. And then we have electric components. Let's say in gadgets, actually it's kind of complicated when you actually dissect open the laptop or mobile phone. They actually come with all of these chips and these wires and electric components like capacitors, transistors. So all of these are actually made of copper and lead. And then we have cables and wires. So if let's say if you are a bit curious to know what is inside the coating of the cables and wires, you can actually, if you're not using the wire, probably you can actually rip open it and see. You will have like a brownish or probably sometimes silver colored uh, 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 needle, or no, silver colored, like it looks like wires, and they're actually made up of copper and aluminium. So these electronic items are mostly metallic because they are good conductors of electricity. And then we have minerals used in the construction field as cement. So cement is actually made of calcium, aluminium, iron. So this cement actually forms the foundation of a certain building. And then we have bricks on the other hand. They are mostly used up of clay minerals. So how these bricks are formed are actually bricks are molded into rectangular form first, and they will be fired at a very high temperature so that they stay put together and they are durable and long lasting. And then minerals are also used in jewelry and accessories. So girls out there, if you're using all of these, so these are actually made up of minerals. So like gemstones such as diamonds, ruby, jade, they are all minerals. And then we have silver and gold, all made up of these minerals make up the necklaces you're wearing, the earrings, and anklets. It could be anything related to jewelry and accessories, right? And then let's move on to rocks. Rocks is a source of energy. As I mentioned earlier, rocks can produce, especially sedimentary rock, can produce petroleum. So petroleum is used as in the transportation sector to fuel up your vehicles, and not only that, it also generates electricity. Same goes for coal. Coal is a type of sedimentary rock also, and it generates electricity also. So the natural gas actually lights up the stove at your home. So the cylindrical gas that you are using to light up your stove is actually natural gas. Okay, so if we move on to the manufacturing sector, we have plastics, right? So plastics, bottled plastics, and then we have spoons made of plastic. All of these are actually made from petroleum. And on the other hand, clothing is also made up of petroleum. Okay, unless it is 100% cotton. So if you see there's a mixture of probably cotton and probably polyester, maybe. So you can guess that it's actually made up of petroleum. So if you are free after this talk, probably you can go check out the clothes and check the labels behind whether it's actually made of 100% cotton or it has a mixture of certain chemicals, right? And then rocks can be also used as decoration. So marble is actually a metamorphic rock, and it is used to create vase and tiles. So these patterns you see here is actually not man-made; they are actually all naturally made, and it is found within the rock itself. So it is actually man-made. The pattern is actually natural. All right. So even the granite rocks, the igneous rocks, they form not only zinc, they form they exist as a decoration in the form of the countertop table or the kitchen or even the sink, as a decoration. So granite is actually they are used. Granite slabs are actually used to cover up these to be used as a decoration. Okay, so this is where granite will be cut from the granite quarry and they will be sent to a workshop where they will be transformed into a granite slab, and these granite slabs will be actually brought to a granite showroom where customers will come in and choose what patterns they like, and these patterns and these granite slabs will be used eventually as a decoration. And then in terms of agriculture, soils. So soils act as a structural support for plants or trees because they hold on to the roots. The roots hold on to the soil, so that the plants can stand upright. And then we have soil as a source of nutrients because as you can see, soil has various amount of microorganisms, and these microorganisms create due to conversions and a lot of going on, chemical systems going on, they actually produce nutrients for the plants. And not only that, atmospheric exchange between the atmosphere and the soils also enable the soils to acquire nutrients. And nutrients also come from weathered rocks. Okay, and then for construction, we soils actually very useful because it's a very huge support for buildings because your buildings are actually built on top of soils. So this is actually the base of every building. And then we have bricks, which are also made up of soil, not only clay minerals, because particularly sandy soils and loam soils, because these soils are durable and they are long lasting also, and they are unbreakable. So and strong. So that is why soils are also incorporated in making bricks. And then you may wonder how soils are actually associated with medicine. Actually, they are because soils contain a lot of microorganisms, and these microorganisms will be separated and will be made into antibiotics. So soil fungi is a major source for antibiotic actually, and they are taken from soils. All right, and then soils exist as decoration also. How? I think we have heard about pottery. Pottery is where you use this rotating machine there to mold the terracotta soil, or they're also known as baked earth, uh, but they are clay soils also. So they will be formed into a particular desired shape, like a vase or plate or bowls. And once they are molded into a desired shape, they will be fired at a very high temperature so that the shape stays intact and can be used for decoration. Okay, so ceramics also falls under this category, pottery, but ceramics to create ceramics, an additional step is required where a decorative plant-based coating will be added, which is known as glazes. That is why ceramics are always shiny and polished. And then we have statues, which are made of clay soil, mainly because they can be carved easily. So that's how we get the statues perfectly carved, right? And then, so we have talked about earth materials, and we've also talked about the uses of earth materials. So you can imagine how much we are using earth materials in our daily life. So I can say that probably millions of products are made from earth materials, and we are using it every single day. So have you wondered what are the impacts of probably retrieving these earth materials to the environment actually? So, so the first would be the effects of mining. So as you can see, mining requires a vast, extensive land. So in order for that land to be mined, it needs to be cleared, right? So if it, let's say it's a forest reserve, or if, let's say it has a lot of trees at a particular area, we have to clear that off. So deforestation will be evident, will be done if mining is involved, because you need a huge or a very vast land to do mining. So due to deforestation, lots of there will be loss of biodiversity. The habitats of the animals will be lost, and wildlife will be threatened. Uh, they might die. They might not have their habitat is being taken away from them. And not only that, contamination of soil, ground, and surface water will be evident, because at times mining involves um, harmful minerals such as sulfur. So if it's not handled properly, the sulfur might leach out into the soil and probably affect the plants nearby or even the rivers nearby, causing them to be polluted. So I can give you a few examples of what is happening in Malaysia. So what has happened in Malaysia actually, the Kuantan bauxite issue. I think Mr. Paul touched on this in his recent talk. I'm just going to brief you all about this. So bauxite is actually an aluminium ore, and it is mostly it's reddish brown because primarily it's made up of iron oxide. So that is why it has this red sediment producing from bauxite. So due to irregular mining activities and also mining activities were carried out nearby civilization, the this caused the air to be polluted with red dust. And not only that, this bauxite has also polluted the rivers nearby, causing it to also turn red. So you can see it has almost, the surrounding has almost turned into Mars, right? And then let's, so I just would like to ask you all a question. So anyone familiar with what is this? Like, anyone have any guesses on what this would be? What place would this be? Anyone? You can type down your answer in the chat box if you all feel like you know this place, it's very familiar. Okay, so actually I can't see chat box. So I'm sorry. So this is actually Tasik Chini. Tasik Chini is located in Kuantan, and it is a fresh lake water. So this is actually a picture taken before, and this is after. So you can see a big contrast in these images, and this is because of extensive logging and mining. So you can see this picture here has a lot of trees, and it's very beautiful to look at. And then now after, most of the trees are gone. So this is due to logging and mining. So Tasik Chini is actually is in the verge of losing its biodiversity because it houses a lot of species and also orang aslis. So you can see, you can imagine how much mining and logging has affected our the biodiversity of probably Tasik Chini and also other locations. And then second will be the production of plastic. So plastics actually, it has been in the headlines for many years actually, on how it is polluting earth and how it's affecting the animals. And this is because firstly it takes a long time to decompose. So probably we might not be present in this earth for a long time, but plastic will be there, will be here to stay for a very long time, probably hundreds of years. And then it also threatens wildlife and aquatic species. Why? Because firstly, it gets stuck at the body parts of animals. So probably mainly at its ears or this beak. So, and not only that, animals also presume that plastic is food. So they think it's food and they ingest it, not knowing that it's actually plastic. So what happens is they die a very painful death because they are unable to digest the plastic, so they die of suffocation and starvation. And thirdly, it's impossible to be retrieved once it is in the ocean or rivers. This is actually related to one article I read where they also found plastics in deep ocean. So literally, it's in deep ocean. Like plastic has traveled that far, right? So these are the images concerning plastics. So you can see the animals are actually affected by plastics. And not only that, due to the pandemic, the usage of masks and PPE kits are increasing. So when they are disposed in a very improper manner, this is where it ends up, you know. And then we have effects of radioactive waste. So radioactive waste not only come from nuclear materials, they also come from e-waste, electronic waste such as old mobile phones or old electronic gadgets that you're not using. And yeah, if they are not disposed properly, these following effects might occur. So first of all would be radioactive radiation. So you know that electronic items or nuclear waste, they have radioactive elements in them. So radioactive radiation will be very detrimental to actually plants, animals, and especially humans because they cause genetic mutation. So it might cause like a changes, it might cause changes in your genetics. So you might be, your generation might be born with probably an extra finger or even worse, we don't know. And then we have and it threatens animals and plant life. As you can see, these radioactive waste, if they are not thrown properly, they might leach out into the soil and affect the plants and animals nearby. And not only that, greenhouse gas emissions are also possible because if let's say a huge amount of radioactive waste uh, disposed of or they are being transported to a particular location, they might also emit greenhouse gas like carbon dioxide. So this would be a very evident result of radioactive radiation. So you can see there are actually more than that. There were very disturbing images more than this. So I thought maybe this would be a bit optimal for you to look at. So and then you can see cows born with two legs, I think, and then plants mutated. So this is the original plant, but it's mutated into various other uh, few, but then in one flower, right? And then we have this moth here. So this is the original form, and it transforms into like this after it's after being exposed to radioactive radiation. And then so all of these effects, how are we going to control it? So how are we going to contribute to the environment? How are we going to control the usage of old materials and probably bring a solution to save our environment? So the first one, no, actually, these three words are actually very used commonly, probably in school, I guess. So this is probably like the magic word that we always use. So the solution lies in these three words, which are reduce, reuse, and recycle for a happier earth. So how can we make our earth happy? So firstly, uh, we need to reduce the waste. So how are we going to do it? Is we've got to be mindful. So mindful as in we have to know, we have to be mindful whether the particular item that we are buying is actually has a lot of packaging. So a uh, very simple example I can give you is when you go to a shop to pack food, right? So let's say you are going to pack like one curry, one rice, and probably one veggie. So you're actually using three plastic bags each for each items, food items. So rather than doing that, you can actually bring your own Tupperware, right? Instead of uh, using up a lot of plastic just to pack one food in one plastic bag. So you can bring your own Tupperware. So in that way, you just use one Tupperware to put in all your food, and you don't need to waste any plastics, right? And then we have to learn to say no. Say no as in say no to single-use plastics because so whenever you go shopping, you know, there'll be this person in the cashier asking, nak plastic tak? Do you want plastic? And then, so learn to say no. Okay, especially when you think that the items you're buying is quite less and you can actually carry it back home, say no to plastic. And not only that, if you're going shopping, you can even bring your own fabric shopping bags, right? And then choose wisely, as in if you want to reduce waste and let's say you have a choice on whether you want to buy a new phone or not. So you have this old mobile phone and you want to buy this latest version of iPhone. But then you still feel that this old mobile phone is actually usable and it's not as bad and you don't really need a new phone. So choose wisely. Think about what you really want. So you want to reduce waste or you want to like stack up waste in house. So probably you can use this approach where you can choose wisely and probably if you think that this old phone is actually very useful and you don't need to buy a new one, just use your old phone. So once it's already like literally it's broken, you can buy a new one, right? And then reusing. So let's be creative when we reuse things. So be creative as in like you can use waste to create something useful, like a useful item. So probably instead of buying a new jewelry box, you can actually make your own jewelry box using cardboard. So I myself, I have made up a collection of earrings using polystyrene and also a laptop box actually. So when you buy a new pair, you get a box, right? So that box and with the polystyrene, and I'll just poke my earrings into it. So it becomes a collection of earrings. So I don't need to buy a brand new earring collection set, right? And then not only that, during the Olympics, there were two Olympians in the artistic swimming event, and the commentator announced that they actually made their costume using recycled ocean plastic. So that is a very good initiative, and they are from Great Britain actually. And this is a very good initiative because it reaches out to millions of people. So because a lot of people are watching Olympics, right? So and this might also influence other Olympians to probably make costumes out of recycled ocean, probably in the next Olympics, right? So when you reuse waste, you have to rethink also. So probably you have this waste and you're planning to throw it. So before that, rethink what you can do with the waste. Do not simply throw it away without thinking that what you can actually do with it. So rethink the decision and see whether the waste that you have is reusable or not. So okay, so you have so if you think that the waste cannot be reused, probably you can recycle it, right? So recycle waste materials, like I said, you can recycle waste materials such as newspaper, plastic, glass. So all of these are recycled. So like I use this example for the reducing the waste part where and reusing the waste part where the Olympians they used recycled materials to make their costumes. So something like that, right? So because recycled items will be made into new products, so recycling will actually help reduce the amount of earth materials used to make new things, right? So then we have e-waste. You can recycle e-waste also. E-waste is electronic waste. For those who don't know what are electronic waste, like I mentioned, it is old mobile phones, old electronic gadgets, right? So so if you're wondering where you can actually, if let's say you have a lot piled up at home and you don't know where to throw it, probably there are a few options. So SWM Environment, which is found in the states of Negeri, Sembilan, Malacca, and Johor. Okay, they actually have this app called Kita Recycle. So you get to register first, and then you can once you are done recycling your e-waste, you can actually redeem recycling points and actually receive money, right? The keyword here is receive money. So, so you just go to the website and then you can choose the state here, and then so choose your state and choose your district to know your nearest collection point, right? And then don't worry that students from other states do not worry because we have the Department of Environment Malaysia under the household e-waste where they have collection points in every state. So what you can do is visit their website. You can they will have this collection point description there. So you click on that, and then if let's say you live in Police, you just click on this, and then you will know where is the collection point. You can even contact them if you have any inquiries. And then this why here is actually yes. So they actually collect washing machines, TV, air conditioner, and so on. And then these are the other recycling centers. So this is probably located in Selangor, Cyberjaya, Klang, and then they even have it in Aeon Big Puchong. So whoever is living here, you can maybe try recycling your e-waste. So the community recycle for charity. This is a really good recycle center because they actually collect the recycle e-waste and they will get money from it. They will donate the money to charity. So this is a very good initiative by community recycle for charity. So Kajang people, do check it out. So I've really briefed on what are the uses, the earth materials, and also the impacts, and also how you can overcome these impacts also. So for this talk, what can you actually do for the environment? So you can, this is your follow-up action after this talk. So the title is Don't Recycle. So you can actually find out the schedule of the recycle truck in your area, in your taman, and recycle any items that is suitable for recycling, right? And then take a picture of you and the items recycled and upload it. Just a minute. Okay, so take a picture of you and the items recycled and upload it to your Facebook, tagging MNS, and then upload the Facebook link to the Eco Partners online app. Okay, so this is your follow-up action, don't forget. And then in conclusion, when we heal the earth, we heal ourselves by, this quote is by David Orr. So it is, we can't deny the fact that we owe our lives to earth, and without earth we are nothing. So the changes that you make every single day for the environment will determine the future of it tomorrow, right? So let's all of us rise together and contribute how much we can for the environment, so that we have a better future and we can preserve and save our environment. And yeah, that's it from me. Thank you very much. And before I end, these are the references. So if you want to know more about any of the, probably if you have any doubts, you can actually visit these YouTube channels or these links here. So you have more information on what I talked about in this presentation. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Linesha. That was a great talk. Can everyone give Linesha some claps? Awesome. Okay, if you go to the app, you click the event button down here. Okay, and then you will see the events coming up. Okay, this is next week's event, but this is this week's event. So if you click into it, click the quiz button. There will be 10 questions for you to answer while I pass on to Zoe to ask some questions from the chat to Linesha.
All right, thank you Yan Yi for the introduction. Okay, so now we're moving on to our Q&A session, and I have a list of questions for Linesha. And yeah, so the first one is from our MNS member, and he's asking, can we throw batteries into rubbish bin?
I think no, because batteries, they have chemicals in them. So I think it would be a great, it would be great if they could recycle it.
Mm-hmm.
Because it contains chemicals. So if let's say it's thrown in rubbish bins, they might end up in landfills. So if it leaks out, it will cause a lot of damage to the environment, and also it will leach out into the soils and cause a lot of environmental pollution. Yeah.
All right, thank you for the explanation. But where do we recycle them? Like, it seems easy to say that we recycle them, but it's really hard to find like a place to recycle them. I think that's the problem. Yeah.
All right. So like I mentioned above, they have recycling centers everywhere. Like I mentioned, like a few recycling centers. Those recycling centers, they also accept e-waste.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so e-waste. So they have these collection points in every state for probably Department of Environment Malaysia. They have collection points in every state. So probably you can drop off your e-waste in that collection point. I'm not sure how it's really done because I've never seen that. But then
Okay.
probably you have to drop it at the collection point. Probably wrap it in a proper way, and then you drop it at the collection point. They will, and I think probably they have QR code also. You have to just scan, like it's
Oh,
like evidence that you have actually recycled,
mhm.
something like that. And then yeah, so that's how it's actually done from
All
what
right.
I know. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay, moving on to the next question. It's from T. Daya Lena. So she's asking, what does terracotta soil mean?
Terracotta soil is actually a type of clay soil also. It is used mostly for pottery. It is exclusive for pottery because it is also known as baked earth. So I think that's,
Oh,
yeah.
all
So
right.
that's how you can actually like create vessels or create vases and mold them into the desired shape that you want.
All
Yeah.
right. Thank you. So next question is from Sunil, and she's asking, how do clays from different states differ? For example, clay in Sayong, Perak versus clay in Sarawak. Is there any difference?
Uh, Clay. Okay.
Yeah.
You mean clay soils or minerals
Yeah,
or
I think it should be clay soil, right? I'm guessing. I'm not sure. Could
clay
Sunil
soils?
ask?
Okay.
Hi, Linesha, Senior here. You know the clay that we have from Sayom, Perak, are they any different from the clay we find in Sarawak? Because both are used to make pottery. They are used to make
Okay.
glass. Yeah. How are they different?
Okay. To be honest, I'm not really sure about that. How are they different? Maybe they are the same type of soil because from what I know, pottery is from terracotta soil. Probably it is the same type of soil. If it differs, probably it might be due to the type of clay minerals that are found because certain clay soil they have certain clay minerals. So you actually do soil sampling to know what is found inside the clay minerals. So I'm not really sure about the difference. Yes, so sorry, Simi.
Thank you. Thank you, Linesha. I will check it
Okay,
out. Thank you, yeah, about
thank
mineral
you.
sampling. Thank you.
Okay, so next question is also from Sunil. She's asking, what can students do to stop deforestation and make their voices heard? Credit to Amal, he actually answered, and that's his opinion, but we would like to hear
Okay.
about your opinion. Yeah.
Okay, so in my opinion, I feel students nowadays they are very, very technological driven because now students they actually know. Even me, I am actually not that really equipped with the technology stuff. But now students these days they're actually really good. Especially now we have lots of social media platforms to make our voices to be heard. So as in TikTok, we have Facebook, we have Instagram, so all of these social media platforms, if they are used in the correct way, students can actually create a difference. So this is like probably a bit out of context, but I just want to relate this to the question here. So my teacher, my dance teacher, she said she wants to revamp her academy because she feels that not many students are joining online dance classes. So what she said was she wanted to revamp. So the student, she actually suggested that probably you should expand your academy through social media marketing where you can promote your events that you have done, you can promote your pictures in social media. So actually, then I realized that actually social media marketing has a lot of value, and social media can actually make you reach people that you wouldn't imagine that you reach. You can actually, so students can actually use this platform probably to create awareness probably by posting regular stories on what they're doing to preserve the environment. Even like even planting trees in their backyards would help. Doing videos, creative videos to just attract people to come and hey, you know what, the girl is planting plants. So in a very different way, unique way, so they'll be interested to watch. So they will be also encouraged to actually like join in the fun or something like that. So So I feel social media would be a great way for students to actually reach out to many people. And let's say if let's say this particular video gets viral, okay, let's say, so probably a very huge higher official or NGO company, they would want to invest on maybe probably collaborate with you to make changes, even bigger changes to the environment. So that would actually be one of the ways.
Yeah, I actually heard like one of the quotes that out there. They basically say that out of the many things that could be trendy, like we can get iPhone and we can get anything that we want, and that could
Yeah.
be like a trend. Why don't we make picking up rubbish like a trend so that
Yeah,
everyone
yes.
gets to do it? Yeah, that's
Yeah,
really
that's
cool.
true. That's right. Make it a trend, like a challenge.
Yes, make it a challenge. Okay, thank you for your answer. And next we have a question from Yup Moy, and she's asking, would underground mining to extract minerals, limestone, etc., be a better alternative to minimize damage to the environment?
A better alternative, you mean?
Better alternative. Yeah.
Than underground mining. Okay,
Yeah.
so better alternative. So, I wouldn't say this is a better alternative, but because, in my opinion, if I feel because certain minerals they can't be extracted through that particular probably if let's say it involves underground mining, you have to do it to retrieve the minerals, right? So you can't use other methods to do it. If let's say it's in situ mining is a good way actually, but then not all minerals are actually they can melt. They should be highly permeable in order for you to uh, in order for the mineral to actually melt, right? So I'm not sure on an alternative, but probably mining activities can be controlled actually. So like you see in Australia, they are one of the biggest miners, right? They mine a lot of minerals, and yet their their citizens are not affected by it because they do it away from civilization. Like it's kind of like a few kilometers away from civilization, so it doesn't affect the people around them. Or they also have policies to actually make sure that they don't hurt the environment in the process. Because if let's say you want to extract minerals, right? There are pros and cons actually. You can't like okay, there will be pros and cons, but you have to make sure that it's balanced out. So the cons should be more than the pros, right? So yeah, so certain minerals can be only extracted through underground mining. So there could be an alternative maybe that is in situ mining, but in situ mining it can be carried out, but probably only for certain minerals. So it all weighs down on what kind of minerals are being extracted.
All right, thank you. The next question is kind of related. Like, I just want to ask, what kind of consequences, like negative impacts, would there be if you do like underground mining? Will it affect like the marine ecosystem?
Okay, so underground mining. So underground mining involves a lot of soil displacement, a lot of digging. So if you saw the images that I showed for underground mining, they even build elevators so that they can assist people to go in and find out about the minerals inside there and all of that. And they even have lorries going in to collect the ore. So negative consequences is probably um, you're digging. The first thing is because you're digging up a lot of soil and there's a lot of displacement of sediments going on. Firstly, and secondly, underground mining. If let's say the minerals they are if they leak out, if let's say if it's harmful and if they leak out, they can cause a lot of damage. Probably.
Yeah.
Yes, because probably during transportation, you're transporting these minerals out and then it could leak out. We never know what could happen, and mining is undergoing. So yeah, this would be probably one of the negative consequences of underground mining.
Okay, thank you so much. So the action itself isn't really that harmful, right? If you do it properly, the action itself, like underground mining itself, if everything is done properly, then it should be okay, is it?
Yeah, it should be okay.
Oh,
Like because they have to follow a certain protocol, to be honest.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So like they consider everything before they should actually consider everything before they do underground mining.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. And that pretty much wraps up everything, I guess. Yeah, that's it. But I personally have some questions if there is time. Do
I
I
hope
have time? I'm
it's not
not
hard
sure.
because I'm still learning. So if I make any mistake, I'm really sorry,
No,
everyone.
it's a very general question. You don't have to be so
Okay.
stressed. Yeah, it's just like with all the grieving news out there, right? You have mentioned several already in the talk itself. How can young people remain hopeful? For example, in the construction energy, I heard that Indonesia, they're like converting waste materials into eco bricks, and they're known to be quite durable and quite tough. So that could be an alternative that we pursue in the future, right? So, what are your thoughts and how to make us feel hopeful, make our
Feel
young
hopeful.
participant, yeah.
Hopeful. Okay. So hope should be there actually, because hope
should
is
be there.
like an ambition, right? So
Mhm.
instead of being hopeful, why don't we do something to induce hope in everyone? Like we should remain hopeful, and at the same time we should also do something so that we create that hope in everyone, right? It's like it works two ways. You remain hopeful, and also you influence others to also be hopeful, right? So
Yes,
if you just remain hopeful and you do nothing, nothing is going to happen, right?
yes, exactly.
So you take that first step to change it. Like I said, through social media, maybe you can voice out your opinions. And then like even students nowadays, they're creating like crazy and very interesting innovations,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So all of so this is actually like an amazing way to actually motivate others to do so.
Yeah,
So like I've seen in Ellen show also, like she brings in kids who can actually invent a lot of amazing things, and even kids like 3 years old, they they actually have that passion that to help others, to help the environment. So we can remain hopeful, but at the same time we do something so that it motivates everyone to be hopeful also in the
we
future.
take
Something,
actions first.
yeah, we take actions first. Like there's no point being hopeful only, something
Okay.
like that.
I hope I can squeeze in a bit time because I have another question.
Okay.
It's one last question from Sunil, and she's asking. Oh, sorry, it's not from Sunil. It's from Janani. I hope I don't pronounce it wrongly. Okay, I'm so sorry if I pronounce it wrongly. But she's basically asking how to find the quality of soil.
How to find the quality of soil? Okay. Soil quality. So like I said, organic matter influences the soil. So I think if there's a lot of organic matter, the soil quality would be good. Yeah. So
Okay.
and then not only that, uh, and then the soil should also have the soil should also have like the essential nutrients so that it can actually make plants grow. So it should be fertile soil, right? So you
Also,
must assess what is inside these soils so that you'll have a better idea on whether they will be suitable for agriculture or not. So one of the sorry one of one
it's
of
okay.
the one of the reason would be organic matter. Yeah, so organic matter because it's the decomposition of plant residues and animal residues, right? So this will help in plant growth. So other than that, you need to consider other options by probably doing soil sampling so that you get to know what is the nutrients inside, what kind of metals are found. Because at times soil can be also polluted due to the surrounding. So you have to also take that into consideration as well.
Okay, I hope that answers. And yeah, that's pretty much it from here. Yeah.
Thank you, Zoe.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Okay, now we are going to announce some winners for the quiz. But before that, I will show you some highlights from previous 2 weeks ago people's follow-up action challenges. So let's see. So these are the entries for previous week's follow-up actions. Let's look at Who is the tapir one? Okay, Kuga Balaraman posted a picture of mortar and pestle, which you use to tumbuk your garlic. Okay, and then another example is, let's take this parrot because I love birds. Okay, we have Katri Kahin. Sorry, I'm so sorry. Please correct me. He or she has a garden decorative stone which you use to walk on it and improve your circulation. So that's another precious stone. So for this week, the way that you do your follow-up action is to go to events. Okay, go to this week, and then you click Jom Recycle button here. Then this will bring you to a page where you can tell us when is your schedule of your recycle truck, and also post a picture of you with your recycled items to your Facebook, and post the Facebook link of that post into this box here. Then if you complete this action, you will get 50 eco points. Okay, so now let's scroll down to the quiz winners. Quiz results, here we go. We have 5 winners, all 100%. Okay, yeah, 500% winners. So Krishani Siriram, T. Hun Lun, R. Padmanathan, Sharmini, and Fatin Humaira. Congratulations. So you need to send your name and address to Vuti, which is our organizer. The way to find out Vuti's phone information is here. Go to the site and then click info, and then look for email and phone, and then you can send your name and email address, house address to Vuti. Okay, so big thanks to our volunteers today. Speaker Linesha, host myself, Legal Support Vuti, co-host Zoe Ang Ziyuan, and Quizmaster Yi Swinyo. And big thanks to you, our audience. 2 weeks later, we will have a talk on Life on Earth by Forestry Department in Jade Sharo. So see you then. Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Speaker, host, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Zoe, take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.